could do the roll call, please.
Kathy Pucci.
Here.
Mary Belbeer.
Here.
Kevin Tansky.
Here.
Andy Selhertz.
Here.
Katie Gallagher.
Here.
Tony DeMarco.
Here.
Ron Van Kirk.
Here.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, I'd like to approve the minutes from June 9th. Does anyone-
Motion to approve.
If I could be recognized, please.
Sure.
I'm not going to count the lines, Mary Jo, but the couple of changes that we went over in my comments for the meeting of June 9th. It should read, result of overspending and a lack of planning on city officials' part. And then several lines later, it should say we've now hitched our wagon, instead we've not. I'll recommend council adopt as amended.
May I be recognized?
Yes.
And also, I discussed this with Mary Jo as well before the meeting. In my remarks, attended the new school's groundbreaking, and it should read, and I was honored to be a part of it. I move we approve as amended.
Second.
To approve the minutes as amended, Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Abstain.
Okay, we'll only have a couple new things tonight. We have a liquor permit from Ridge Manor. We also have a request from our service director to advertise for bids for the full maintenance service program, refrigeration, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems for the recreation center. We also have a request by our service director to enter an agreement with Cargill Salt Division in cooperation with Brecksville Purchasing Consortium. The price for dump delivery of untreated salt for the city of Brooklyn under the renewal agreement would be $49.39 a ton with a 24-hour guarantee. The city of Brooklyn would be required to purchase 80% of their estimated quantity, which would amount to 3,200 tons of salt for the period of the contract. In comparison, the ODOT agreement terms were $51.22 per ton with a 7-day delivery window and a 90% minimum with 110% maximum threshold. Additionally, we have Ordinance 2014-58, amending Section 1 of Ordinance 2014-49, adopted September 8, 2014, entitled Authorize the Purchase of 2014 Ford E350 Passenger Bus for the use of the Senior Center. This is actually just adding about $800 because the 2014 models were no longer available, and this is a 2015, so a minimum difference of $800. And additionally, Ordinance 2014-59, authorizing the purchase of rubber floor tiling at the Recreation Center from Continental Commercial Floors in the amount of $64,547.37. At this time, we'll have the public session. If anyone in the audience has anything to say for the good and welfare of the city of Brooklyn, please step forward, state your name and address, including the city, and you'll be recognized. Please keep your comments to 5 minutes or less.
Good evening, my name is Ken Debicek. I live at 4623 Winter Lane, Brooklyn, Ohio 44144. And I have two comments. I think everybody knows that we've had a lot of construction in the city. I think the logistics were horrible. And I think we could have done a lot more to make this city more passable. If we would have thought about, we had two projects going on at the same time. I know it's a pain. You have state and county doing different jobs, but I really think people need to get on the same page so that it's accessible for me as a resident and everybody else that travels through the city of Brooklyn to get through the city and to where they need to get to in a more timely manner. Okay. I think all of us in the city have had times where we looked at a homeowner and said, gee, does that person really own a home? Well, I have that issue. What has happened in my neighborhood is that a homeowner who owned a fence on all sides of the property decided that he was going to put up a new fence. I was told about it. The property was surveyed. And when the work was done, only one side of the property was put with a new fence. One side, council. One side. That's ridiculous. This isn't the hood. This is a respected community. And we shouldn't allow people to basically have the opportunity to perform a hate crime. Because that's the way I took it. We need to have uniformity in our properties. Now, I spoke to the building commissioner. He said there's nothing on the ballot. The resident asked for only one side of the property to be done. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those of you here, those of you watching, do you think that makes any sense? Do you think that makes any sense whatsoever? And here's the thing. If they put a new fence up around the rest of the property, which I heard hearsay they've said they're going to do that, the fence will weather every year differently if the fence isn't stained. So how's that going to look? It's going to look like garbage, my friends. So, I have gone so far to propose a new ordinance in my writing. And I'm asking the council to take it up. And I will submit that now to the president. And you can take this up, you can call me, you can talk to me about it, but this kind of construction should not be permitted in the city of Brooklyn. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to say for the good and welfare of the city of Brooklyn? Okay, thank you. We'll move on. We'll now have reports from committees, commissions, and board. First up tonight, we have the Finance Committee, Councilman Pucci.
Thank you. Good evening. The Finance Committee met prior to the council meeting at 6:30. That is our standing meeting time, and the public is welcome at these meetings. We voted to recommend that council authorize the agreement with Cargill Salts, advertise for bids for the full maintenance program for the rec center, adopt and accept the amounts of the rates determined by the Budget Commission. These are our property taxes, and they will remain unchanged in 2015. And I just have a little reminder for everyone that we are very unique because we, as a city, have not reached our full capacity, our taxing that the law permits us to. So we are still under what we are authorized to levy on the property taxes. Also, we voted to recommend to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Jackson Deacon for our property insurance. The cost is $179,901. There is another ordinance up for third reading and adoption this evening, 2014-52. The majority of the Finance Committee recommended that council adopt this. However, this is a matter of personnel, and there are still some lingering issues, so I anticipate that we will be discussing this in executive session this evening. Second reading, amended annual appropriations. Also second reading are interfund transfers and advances. And we recommended that council pass by emergency measure ordinance 2014-57, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Bramhall Engineering and Surveying for a cost of $93,300. This is for the project that will start next year. This is on Tiedemann Road, and this is for the continuous right-hand turn lane onto I-480 westbound, which is in front of the Plain Dealer property. We also recommended that council pass by emergency measure ordinance 2014-59, the rubber flooring for the John M. Coyne Recreation Center. This is through the state contract, and the cost is $64,547.37. And I believe that completes my report. Oh, I have an economic development report also. The Economic Development Committee did meet last Wednesday, September 17th at 10 a.m. in the conference room. We reviewed a pre-application for a current business that is applying for a job retention and job creation grant. The committee wanted a little bit more information on exactly what the company is looking for from the city. They are also submitting an application for a job retention creation tax credit grant from the state of Ohio. Fran is going to meet with them, and we'll have another meeting to review it at that time. Fran reported that Blue Jay Communication will be moving into a building on Associate Avenue. They have between 100 and 135 jobs. At this time, they did not share with us their information on what the payroll is. Lumen Park, that's the senior living facility. They're waiting for the deadline for the appeal process to sunset before paying for their permits, and we do not anticipate them breaking ground until next spring. On the Kmart property, they are close to signing a purchase agreement with another retail operation. Fran was meeting with the county land bank the day after our meeting about the blue house across the street. That's the dilapidated house that the city purchased, and we're going to have the land bank tear that down for us. Fran asked the committee to possibly consider amending the enabling legislation for our Economic Development Fund, and we asked her to collect some samples from of ordinances from other cities. And Fran and I are meeting on Wednesday morning to work on the final template for our economic development agreements. And I believe that completes my report. Thank you very much.
Next up, Recreation Board, Councilman Tansky.
Thank you. Recreation Center is offering aquatic fitness classes for the following. The Arthritis Foundation Aquatic Program is a low-intensity exercise program that is designed to improve a person's range of movement while being gentle on the joints. This class is performed in the shallow water. Classes are held on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11:45 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The Deep Water Fitness Program is designed for abdominals and core strength throughout the class. Aquatic belts or ankle floats are required. Classes are held on Tuesday evenings from 6:15 p.m. to 7 p.m. Silver Sneaker Splash class works to improve agility, flexibility, and endurance. No swimming ability is required. A special silver sneaker kickboard is used to develop strength, balance, and coordination. Classes are held on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10:30 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. Silver Sneaker members are free. All others may call for prices. Another program being offered is KISS, Kids and Infant Safety Swimming. This program is a unique program designed especially for infants 6 months and older and toddlers. This class is taught by a certified swim instructor and focuses on roll over breathing, swim, float technique, private lessons, accident survival, exercises muscles, improves balance, coordination, motor skills, and breath control. For more information on this special program, contact Michelle Alpern at 440-668-7086 or email her at kiss.swim@gmail.com or www.kissaquatics.com or www.infantaquatics.com. The Recreation Center is also offering basic flow yoga, which will be held on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. The focus is to build strength, flexibility, and concentration while cleansing the body and calming the mind. Prices are residents with a current ID $4, corporate, Parma Heights, and non-resident annual pass holder with current ID $5, non-resident $6. Silver Sneakers Classic offers a variety of exercises designed to increase muscular strength, range of movement, and activities for daily living. Classes are held on Tuesdays at 9:15 a.m. Silver Sneakers Yoga is held on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday at 9:30 a.m. Brooklyn Blades on Ice Learn to Skate is a great way for kids to get exercise and have fun. Our program is run in accordance with the national standards of the U.S. Figure Skating Program, and all of our instructors are U.S. Figure Skating accredited professionals. Winter registration opens October 22nd. For more information on any of these programs, contact the Recreation Center at 216-351-5334. The next Recreation Board meeting will be on Monday, October 20th, in the Mayor's Court at 7 p.m., and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up, we have legislative updates from Councilwoman Balbier.
Thank you. There's two House bills that I thought the residents might be interested in. The first one is House Bill 269, which was introduced a year ago and is still sitting there, but now there is talk that Republicans may force it to a vote. House Bill 269 deals with an identification to cast a ballot. Voters already must produce a driver's or state ID card, a military ID or photo ID issued by the federal or state government, but absent photo ID can use a current utility bill or bank statement, current government check, or other governmental documents, even a current paycheck. In each case, with the voter's name and present address. The bill would require ID by only a driver's license, state ID, military card, or passport. In other words, a photo ID. New York University Center for Justice states that 11% of eligible voters lack the type of photo IDs that would be required. This would affect typically low-income citizens. Theoretically, this is to address fraudulent voting. However, in Ohio, fraudulent voting is so insignificant as to be non-existent. Opponents to this bill see it as strictly a measure to keep more low-income families from voting, thus supposedly hurting Democrats. The odds of this passing, however, seem slight, especially since Ohio's conservative Republican Secretary of State is content with Ohio's current voter identification requirements. House Bill 617 is pending before the General Assembly. If this becomes law, Ohioans would be able to pay for their driver's license, license plates, and other Bureau of Motor Vehicle fees with a debit or credit card. Right now, registrars take cash, personal checks, money orders, even traveler's checks. House Bill 617 would require deputy registrars to accept credit and debit cards, but would allow them to pass on to the customer the service fee for using a card, often a few cents or small percentages of the charge. And that completes my report.
Thank you. I'd like to let everyone know the Planning Commission meeting for October 2nd has been canceled due to no applications. Next up, we have the School Board Liaison, Councilman Zellerts.
Thank you. On September 10th, there was a special board meeting that was held. There were several resolutions read and approved by the board. Main purpose of the meeting, however, was the implementation of board docs, which is the school board's implementation of moving away from a manual paper system for meetings to an automated paperless meeting record-keeping system. On the board site, there is also a link to board docs so residents can see the meeting agenda at the morning of the meeting. At this meeting, the board also moved over to a new camera recording system where the transfer of videos of meetings over to Brooklyn TV should be easier and less costly. With the new equipment, the sound and image should also be better. On September 16th, the board held its regular meeting. As for the track at the stadium, signage for the stadium will list open hours for when it's going to be open, and a sign is being ordered. Once the signs are installed, the track will be open from Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. The facility, however, will remain closed weekends, holidays, and during any organized events. The signs will be installed within the next few weeks. Upcoming fundraiser events. Tonight, there's over at Texas Roadhouse, an event for the volleyball team. On Wednesday, October 1st, from 4 to 9 p.m. at BW3, 20% of your bill goes towards the volleyball team. On Thursday, October 2nd, Volley for the Cure game against Clearview. T-shirts are for $10. All proceeds go to Susan G. Komen Foundation. and Friday, October 10th, is our homecoming game. The music department is selling gold cards. The cost of a card is $10 and offers a discount to various restaurants around town. Cards are available for purchase in the Boards of Education office. Representatives from Student Council announced that Saturday, October 24th, is Make a Difference Day, which is a community service day for students within the school system. If you have ideas for projects, please contact the schools. Several potential ideas have already been brought to the table with the city. Congratulations to art teacher Marcy Lowell as being recognized by her peers as an outstanding art teacher for 2014. She will be honored by the Ohio Art Education Association in Columbus at a later date. Other business approved by the board included improving an agreement with STEP Center for Excellence in Autism, an agreement with Geauga County Educational Service Center, employment for classified and substitute personnel, and also treasurer's recommendation for a Cole CA Portfolio LLC valuation settlement agreement. This is for the Carrabba's on Tiedemann, and there were several other resolutions that were approved. You can view all of this on the school's website by clicking on the Board of Education tab and going to the Board Docs link. You can look at the meeting details and also see how board members voted. The next board meeting is October 21st, 2014. The public is welcome and encouraged to attend. Is your school system for your children? That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up, we will have council reports, and first up tonight, we will start off with Mrs. Pucci.
Thank you. I had a couple complaints for some residents who have the WOW cable, and apparently there was a little glitch in the broadcast. So everything should be fixed right now, and I want to thank Mary Jo and Jill for the information on that. And Mr. Colasar, we have a couple businesses on Brook Park who are, especially over the weekends, putting up those temporary signs in the public right-of-way, specifically Kronheim's and AT&T. If you could let them know that we have an ordinance prohibiting that, I'd appreciate it. Last Thursday, I attended the Northeast Ohio City Council Association's forum. Both candidates for county executive were there to speak and answer questions. It was very interesting and informative. Regardless of your affiliation or who you're supporting or not supporting, I would encourage everyone to please exercise their right to vote. Early voting does start on September 30th. And everyone this year should have received the application in the mail. If you haven't, we've got applications here at City Hall, Senior Center, and also at the library. Safe Routes to School, we have a meeting Wednesday, September 24th at 7:30 in the conference room at Brookridge. About a week and a half ago, I met with Mr. Enovich. We reviewed the financial reporting, including moving towards reinstituting some other reports. We discussed scheduling some financial work sessions to discuss various topics that included investment strategy, strategic planning, financial planning for our future, the audit, our CAFR, planning for how much we want to put in our economic development fund, and financing of potential development. We also touched on moving forward with digitizing our records, which we've talked about for a few years now, and also moving towards council going paperless. Mr. Demchuk, I'm sorry that you're having this problem with your neighbor, but a couple things I wanted to respond to. The first is, we did not plan the road construction this way because we wouldn't have planned it this way. The project on Tiedemann Road was actually supposed to be done last fall, and ODOT, it was their project. They were the ones who could not get it done, so they were the ones that pushed it back. And believe me, I understand everybody's frustration with trying to get around the city. We all experience the same frustration that you do, but we certainly did not schedule it that way. And also, I believe we have an ordinance that requires fences to be stained or painted. I know that we allow them to weather for a certain period once they're installed, but is that correct?
No.
You don't have to stain them?
No,
Oh, I thought we did.
necessarily. Depends on the product.
Okay,
If it's treated or cedar, it does not need to be stained.
okay. But just the average fence, I thought they had to be stained, no? Okay. Let's see. Also, I wanted to expand a little bit about what Mrs. Balbier talked about on House Bill 269. It's not only low-income people that a lot of times don't have the photo ID, and I know to a lot of people it sounds odd. I mean, we all have driver's license. If you move, you pay to get a driver's license. I spent 10 and a half years working in a low-income area, and I saw firsthand that, number one, a lot of times people are renting, and because of different circumstances, they move a little bit more frequently than some of us may. And it's like, I think it's like $27 to get a license, and people don't have the money. There's a lot of people that don't have the money to pay for this. You can register your new address with the Bureau of Motor Vehicles without getting a new license, but the fact remains your the license you'd present to the Board of Elections would not have your current address. But another population that's impacted by this are also the elderly. And I can tell you my grandmother was impacted by this because she was born in a very small town in Guernsey County, and the courthouse with all the records burned down. So she could not get a birth certificate. And she had a lot of trouble. She never drove, but she could never get a state ID because she could not produce a birth certificate. So there's a lot of elderly people that are impacted by this also. And finally, I'd just like to give a shout out to my husband, Frank, because today is our 30th wedding anniversary, and also to our son, Kevin, because it's also his 19th birthday. So happy birthday, Kevin. And that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Balbier.
Thank you. I also had the pleasure of attending the Northeast Ohio City Council Association meeting last Thursday evening. It hosted a forum to allow the two candidates for county executive to present their plans for the future. Both candidates presented their views of what they hope to accomplish if elected. Both are concerned with the infrastructure replacement and see the need for regional shared services among our county cities and townships. Jack Schron cited as his most important duty infrastructure projects like the new hotel, completing the Lake Erie Corridor, public square, green space, and other projects. Budish cited potholes, and more potholes, and the county's blight, especially in housing. Both stressed economic development. Both candidates were obviously intelligent, well-versed in what needs to be done, and dedicated to moving the county forward. I think Cuyahoga County is fortunate to have two excellent candidates for the most important job in the county. Thank you. Remember to send in your requests to get the absent vote ballots mailed to your house. Once again, the mailing of the ballot to your home for absentee voting is not automatic. You must request a ballot. Forms to request the ballot can be obtained right here at the desk at City Hall, as well as other public buildings. Actually, I just mailed mine off, so we're kind of getting ready. I'd like to extend my condolences. The last city council meeting we had, we installed a lovely man, Officer Sellis, and his mother was here in a wheelchair, and I expressed she had worked at St. Thomas More in the after-school care, which my children attended, and it was so nice seeing her after many years. She was very frail and very delicate, and she had passed away. So I feel so bad for him, but on another note, I'm so happy she was able to see him installed, and that was a happy time. So her name was Nancy Sellis. That's our new officer that was just installed, his mom. Also, I'd like to remind everybody the tickets for the Brooklyn Democratic fundraiser at the Senior Center October 20th. It's going to be at 6 o'clock. Doors are opening at 5:45. There will be prizes, raffles, entertainment, and I said it once again, the food better be good. Sokolowski's will be catering. So please, it's open to all residents, and I hope to see you there. We'd like to build up our funds this way. Also, I had a great opportunity to stop one Wednesday on my day off at the Senior Center and visit with the ladies that do the quilting. And I'd like to just recognize them for such a lost art. They have such patience, such dedication, and they sit there for hours and they quilt, and they are just, they make magic happen, you know? They start out with something and it just happens, it turns into something beautiful. And as I was talking to them, I asked, where do you get some of these quilts? And they say many come from homes that they find up in the attic. People, you know, the mother or grandmother never finished them, so they finish them for like a fee. And it really is a lost art, and it's just so nice to see. I have to commend them. If you ever get a chance to go over there and see the ladies working, I'd like to try it, but I don't know. We'll see. Lastly, I'd like to mention that there's going to be a candlelight vigil. I don't know if you remember last year that young man that was killed in Afghanistan, that's Special Angel Lopez. They're going to have a gathering October 5th, the candlelight vigil. If you can't make it, please keep the family in your thoughts and your prayers. They are hurting. It's a sad situation, and they want to have a candlelight vigil to commemorate him. And I'm proud to say that I'm making some food for it, and they are just so sweet. I happened to meet his little girl, Antonio, beautiful little girl, and a nice, lovely family. So please, if you can't make it, keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And that concludes my report.
Mary, do you want to say where the vigil is?
Pardon me?
Where is the vigil?
The vigil actually is at I have flyers, I'll leave them up here. It's at their home. It's 4618 Rodone Road. So it's going to be outside the house. There.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Tansky?
Thank you. I too been called by these numerous residents and complaints on this construction. Maybe in the future, the mayor and council can be more vocal on how many roads get barreled up. I don't know how much input we can do, but I think we need to be more vocal on how all these roads are getting barreled up, because it's just getting out of hand. We're backed up everywhere we go. It's just everywhere to try to get somewhere is a problem, and it's a challenge. The chief isn't here, but maybe I can ask Mr. Verba. Going northbound on Ridge Road up to Bidoff, there was a no-turn sign heading west. Northbound going up Ridge to Bidoff, heading west on Bidoff, there was a no-turn. Now, when somebody is turning to go west on Bidoff from Ridge, it's backing up the traffic all the way back. Is there a reason why we took that no-turn sign down? Or can we do something by moving the barrel, since they're done with that concrete over there, so people can go around and continue up north, up Ridge Road?
I'll have to check on it. I don't have an answer for you now. I'd have to talk it over to the police department, see if they issued the sign to be taken down or if the construction company did. I don't know at this time.
I know we didn't like that no turn, but when somebody is turning, it's backing it all the way up, all the way down, and it's making things very complicated for people, and they can't travel up Ridge Road. I mean, myself coming here, I stood there for about 10, 15 minutes sitting. One person turns that left going west, and it jams it all the way back up. So maybe we can, I don't know, put that no turn back up, or move those barrels so we can go around it. I'm very fed up with the construction, but I know these roads have to be restored, so I guess we don't have a choice. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Sellers?
Thank you. Brooklyn Historical Society is going to hold their annual Shunpike Shop Sale on Saturday, October 27th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and on Sunday from noon to 3 p.m. Admission is free. Tickets are available for the hand-quilted stained glass patchwork quilt. On Thursday, October 9th, 2014, the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce will host Campus Life leader Nick Maroulis and Executive Director Jeff Thompson, who will speak on how the organization enriches children's lives and how they help them become well-rounded young adults. The event begins 11:30 a.m. at the Hampton Inn. Cost is $15 for members and $20 for non-members. The Senior Center is having their Oktoberfest on Thursday, October 16th. Luncheon starts at 11:30 a.m. and dancing at 1 p.m. with music provided by the Mike Jacobs Band. Cost is $8. Menu consists of roast pork, kraut, red skin potatoes, roll, and a strudel. Snow removal sign-up is now through September 26th, at a cost of $40. After September 26th, there will be a late charge of $15. And lastly, the Brooklyn Community Senior Center Indoor Garage Sale Flea Market is on Saturday, October 4th. It runs from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. And for further information, call 216-635-4222. And I've heard that there are no more tables available for people to display their wares as of this afternoon. That concludes my report.
You said the Shumpike sale was next weekend, right?
Right, next weekend on Saturday, September 27th, and on Sunday, September 28th.
Thank you. Mr. DeMarco.
I just got a couple comments this evening. First, on economic development, can somebody send council, or at least me, meeting minutes for the last, I don't know, however many meetings, maybe the last 4 or 5 meetings? I haven't seen any meeting minutes regarding economic development. As Mr. Selhertz alluded to earlier, or not alluded to, mentioned, I'm very disappointed with the new hours at the track, Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30 p.m. Selfishly, it doesn't work for me, so I won't be able to use the facility at all. And I'm highly disappointed in that decision by the school. And finally, I just wanted to make an announcement that effective this evening, I am resigning my position as a member of the Finance Committee on City Council, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Van Kirk.
Thank you. Well, the most of that I had to say echoes what other council members have to say, so I won't rehash everything that they said. I do understand the frustration with the construction. I've received several phone calls from it as well, and just all I can say is just continue to be patient with it, and it'll be better when everything's finished. And I also echo Mr. DeMarco's comments regarding the track. Those hours don't really seem to work for the people that have spoken to me either, so I would hope that the school board would reconsider it, maybe some more weekend hours or maybe a little bit more extended. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Like Ron said, everybody pretty much covered everything, except I'd like to announce that the Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd, on Saturday, October 4th at noon, they will have a blessing of pets, and that's located at 8235 Memphis Avenue. Their phone number is 216-661-9818 if you have any questions. Additionally, I'd like to announce again that Friends of Brooklyn Library will hold a book sale Saturday, October 4th between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. and Sunday, October 5th between 1 and 3 p.m. All proceeds go to equipment for the library. And we will now move on to the mayor's report.
Thank you. Mr. DeMarco, the Economic Development meeting minutes, I asked Fran the other day to send them out, and she says they weren't approved by the committee because there were people that were off and so forth. There wasn't enough there to approve them, and she doesn't send them out till they're approved, so we're a little bit behind on them. But I'll make sure you get them as soon as they're approved. And Mr. Verba attended the Ridge Road construction meeting last Tuesday, and this is the latest on the construction. They informed him the job will be done by this Thanksgiving, depending on the weather. So if the weather's nicer, it could be sooner. But that's what they told us. It's supposed to be done by Thanksgiving. And you have to remember, this is a year earlier than what was originally planned. And I know that everybody complains about the construction there, and the traffic patterns change daily. But that's just the way it is. But fortunately, this is what they tell us is going to be done by Thanksgiving. So we'll wait and see. I'd like to congratulate the 3 policemen and the firemen who were sworn in at the last meeting. I hope they have long careers. All the paperwork has been turned in for our block grant. We're applying for the money to be used for LED lighting on city property. That would include the city hall, the rec center, the senior center, city parks, and so forth. So if we get it, I think it'll make a dramatic change in our appearance. Parma Heights and Brooklyn, as you know, we've combined, we're going to have a central dispatch, and we've all sent letters to our congresspersons asking for federal help in addition to the grant money that's available through the county. So if we start getting some of this money, it'll make things a lot easier. And they told me they'll be sending out the final contract shortly. I don't usually give reports from every month each department turns in a report, and they're all public record if anyone wants to see them. But I want to tell you about the one with the fire department for the month of August. A lot of times we have 0 fire losses, but this August was an exception. They had a fire at Vendors Exchange, which is up on Brook Park Road. One of their machines caught on fire. So the sprinkler system went off to put out the fire. Unfortunately, they couldn't shut off the sprinkler system, and it just kept pouring water on it, so the floors buckled. And in factories, a lot of you know the floors are made out of those wooden blocks. Well, it all buckled. So the bottom line is that fire cost $250,000. Then they had a car fire that was $3,000. They had a house fire that was $70,000. Then they had a truck coming on, I believe it was off of 480, fully loaded with produce, and it caught fire. And that was a total loss, too. That was $96,000. So when you add all these things up for the month of August, there was $419,000 worth of fire damage, which is unusual for our city because, like I said, some months we have 0. So I just wanted everybody to know that. And that's all I have.
Thank you. We'll move on to director's reports. First up, Finance Director Dan Enovich.
Thank you, Council President Gallagher. I'd just like to report that year-to-date our revenues in the general fund are $14,194,000. Out of that, $13,282,000 was from our regional income tax distributions of withholding net income and taxpayer. So out of the $14 million that we received, $13 million was from RETA. Our expenditures year-to-date are $10,608,730,000. So our expenditures continue to lag behind our revenues. In other words, we're spending less than we're taking in. However, we still have some rather large expenditures. Our landfill, obviously, is still out there looming with a huge expense. We've got a fire truck that's on order. We've got two other vehicles coming from the fire station. We've got a new salt truck coming too. So this little cushion will easily be used for those expenditures. As of today, our general fund balance is $11,052,000, and our total fund balance is $22,509,793,000. And Councilman DeMarco, I'm sorry to hear that you've decided to resign from the Finance Committee. I've appreciated your input, and your contribution will be missed. And it concludes my report.
Go ahead.
I forgot one item I had. The construction on Outlook is scheduled to be done October 10th. And the construction on Rodone, south of Bidoff, and all of Bentwood is scheduled to start October 1st. That's all I have.
Thank you. We have one more director report. Acting Building Commissioner Colsar.
Thank you. I'd like to give a property maintenance update. Since the start of our property maintenance inspector, Marty Byer, on April 21st, as the last week is now completed, the neighborhood east of Ridge and south of Bidoff to the city limits with exterior property maintenance inspections. From that, he issued 138 violation letters, and as of now, 69 have complied. Of course, many of those haven't because they were done within the past 30 days and are not yet due for compliance. Also, with the property maintenance inspections he's doing, we're getting numerous complaints throughout the season. We've had over 107 high grass complaints. 85 notifications were sent out on those, and approximately 20 were cut by the city with liens to be imposed. The next area, focus area for inspections will be south of Bidoff and west of Ridge. anyone has any questions regarding property maintenance inspections, our processes, and what we're looking for, please contact the building department. That completes my report.
Pulsar. We'll now move on to requests. First up tonight, we have a liquor permit request from St. Theodosius.
Move for a position of no objection.
Oh, I'm sorry, just let me finish this. This
Oh, sorry.
completes their liquor permit process for beer, wine, and liquor. So they'll no longer need single permits per event, and this will be their D1, D2, and D3. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mrs. Pucci.
Move for a position of no objection.
Second.
For a position of no objection, Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Abstain.
Next, we have a request to authorize the agreement with Cargill.
Move to authorize the agreement.
Second.
To authorize, Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Next, we have a request to advertise for bids for the full maintenance program for the Recreation Center.
Move to authorize advertising.
Second.
To advertise for bids, Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to legislation. First, we have Resolution 2014-5, accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the County Fiscal Office.
Move to adopt.
Second.
To adopt, Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Next, we have ordinance 2014-51, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Jackson, Deacon, and Associates for the purpose of providing property and casualty insurance for the city of Brooklyn for the period of September 25th, 2014 to September 25th, 2015, for a total cost of $179,701.
Move to adopt.
Second.
To adopt, Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Next, we have ordinance 2014-52, establishing the full-time position of Parks and Recreation Commissioner and repealing the position of Recreation Commissioner. It was decided in the Finance Committee that there are a couple individuals on council that wish to speak about this in executive session before moving to a vote. So we're going to push this to the bottom of the agenda. We'll adjourn to executive session for this and a couple other matters, including union wages and a lawsuit, and re-adjourn, and we'll vote on this matter. Next, we have ordinance 2014-54, amending the annual appropriations. And this is on second reading. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Ordinance 2014-55, authorizing interfund transfers and advances during 2014. This is on second reading. Ordinance 2014-57, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Bramhall Engineering and Surveying Company, Incorporated, for the sole purpose of engineering services for Tiedemann Road, PID number 95548, for a total cost of $93,300. And I need a motion, please.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second.
To suspend the rules, Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky. Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
To adopt, Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Ordinance 2014-58, amending Section 1 of Ordinance 2014-49, adopted September 8, 2014, entitled Authorizing the Purchase of a 2014 Ford E350 Passenger Bus for the use by the Senior Center from Valley Ford Truck in the amount of $58,758.50, and utilizing a Parma Hospital Healthcare Foundation grant in the amount of $50,000. Need a motion, please?
Introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second.
To suspend the rules, Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
To adopt, Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Katie Gallagher.
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk.
Yes.
Last, ordinance 2014-59, authorizing the purchase of a rubber floor tiling for the John M. Coyne Recreation Center from Continental Commercial Floors in the amount of $64,547.37 through the state purchasing program. Our service director explained today there's a timing crunch on this, so we will need to pass it by emergency.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules?
Second.
To suspend the rules, Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Bellbeer,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Andy